Hello and welcome to the Loop with Sloop. I'm your host Berm Sloop, and today we are going to have a fairly short episode, but it's a continuation of my Learning the Web series. If you don't know about it, you should go check it out. So today's video is going to be about adjusting the size of divs and learning how to do that using CSS. Now this one's going to be pretty straightforward. I mean, what you're going to be doing is we're going to be using the height and width commands, and we're going to talk about the actual syntax that's necessary. Now I'm going to jump over here to this document here. I've taken the liberty of just kind of creating it. It's just a very standard basic layout with, I have two divs down here. One is going to be a main div that's going to have the main content, it's going to include everything inside of the web page, and then I'm going to have some sort of content div here. It's just kind of a demonstration. Then inside of our style up here, we see that we reference these two divs, and that's going to allow us to be able to actually manipulate them using the CSS. Now from that point on, we then move on to using the height keyword here. This is going to allow us to adjust the height, obviously. Pretty straightforward. Now the way that we do that is we type in the height, the colon, but then we have to type in a number. I'm going to make an 800 by 800 box. Now I can't just do this. This won't actually work. Oops, if I could actually type. This won't actually work. If you just put the numbers, it's not going to work. What you have to do is you have to actually use a px to reference pixels, and that's the way that we measure things inside of CSS. Now, getting a sense of how big a pixel is can be a bit difficult, but over time you're going to have to kind of know exactly what size of a pixel is. Just to give a bit of a reference, many of the times we talk about 1080p. Well, what that means is it's 1080 pixels high, and it's 1920 pixels across. The same thing of 720p, 720 pixels tall, and 1280 pixels wide. So that's kind of giving you a reference, but as far as those pixel ratios, you'll just kind of have to know what size you want, and you have to adjust your size based on what you're going to be putting into there. So inside of this little content div here, just as a demonstration, I'm going to put a smaller box. Let's say I'll make it a height of, 200 pixels instead, and I'll make these both 200 pixels. Actually, I think I'll make this one taller here. I'll make it 400 pixels wide and 200 pixels tall. So we have this, and then I'm going to put on a border onto it just so that way you can kind of see, so that we can actually visually see it when we're looking at it, and it's not just going to be invisible. So I'm going to put a border of 1 pixel and then solid. You'll notice too that we have to use this px command here as well for 1 pixel, and that's going to be pretty much true of all numbers that you're going to put in. The only time when you don't have to put it in is if you're referencing 0. If you say 0 pixels, you don't have to say pixels. And the solid obviously means that we want a solid border. So let's save this document. I'm going to open this document using my, here's where I've saved it. I've saved it as div size. And then I'm going to open it up using Firefox. All right, and it appears as though I have made an error. Where is my error? Sorry about that. What is my error? Let me see here. Oh, of course. I will need that, obviously. I spelled Bruder. Yeah, you actually need to spell it correctly. Sorry about that, guys. I need to be paying more attention to obviously the specifics. Yes, and as you see, if you misspell things or don't get the proper syntax, it's obviously not going to work. So here, we've returned back again, and you can see here's my inner content div. It is 400 pixels across and 200 pixels high, just like I said over here. The same thing is true of this larger, of the larger main div. It's 800 pixels tall and 800 pixels across. Now, as time goes by, you'll be adjusting that based on what you're going to be putting into there. You just want to be able to specify how big you want. So that, I think, is going to be the end of this video. Pop on over to the next video where we'll actually show how to kind of move these divs around in relation to one another, so that way we could say have a centered div or have a div on the left or a div on the right using margins and paddings. So hopefully I'll see you guys in the next episode, and I hope you guys have been helped by this video.